years, every 52 years, Maya people used to build a new building to celebrate the end of a cycle of 52 years, okay, when the two calendars started again, okay? So if we can see inside this building, probably we can see something like this, okay? Smaller buildings, okay? Archaeologists have found at least 13 levels or buildings, different buildings on top. It's like the Russian doll. You know the matryoshka? You take one big doll and there's a smaller inside. But not only every 52 years. Let's say, what is your name, sir? Peter. Peter. Let's say Mr. Peter comes to Dzibanché. He likes the area and he decides he is going to be the ruler. So put your hand together for Mr. Peter, please. Bravo, our ruler today. And get your wallet because you need to pay taxes to him. Well, so Mr. Peter starts building his palace, his house. And he is going to live very comfortable for many, many years. But then another person comes to the scene. What is your name, sir?
Alan.
Alan. Nice to meet you, Mr. Alan. Let's say Mr. Alan comes to Dzibanché, he likes the area, and he decides he is going to be the ruler.
Yeah.
So what happened with Mr. Peter?
Yeah, quite.
What happened with Mr. Peter?
Sacrifice.
He
gets
Yes, exactly. Probably Mr. Alan is going to bring all his friends, all his family. They are going to start a fight, a war with Mr. Peter's family, and probably they are going to sacrifice Mr. Peter. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It didn't last too much.
No hard feelings, but you know.
So Mr. Alan is going to build his palace on top of Mr. Peter's palace. So this is Mr. Peter's and this is Mr. Alan. Okay? But it doesn't end right here. When Mr. Alan has his first son, the son gets ready to get to the power, and until the father dies, this son is going to build his own building on top of his father's building.
Oh, I don't get killed. Oh, that's good.
The next one comes along, then you
Exactly.
go.
So every 52 years, or when they change power, they add a new building on top of the previous building they had. Okay? So inside this, there's another building. Okay? Now, talking about how the Maya built the construction. You can see normal stones and flat stones. Remember that most of the archaeological sites were covered by the vegetation. So when archaeologists found this building, it looks like mound. They need to make a hole into the mound until they found the flat stones. When they found the flat stones, that means that they found the second building. And they start clearing to the right, to the left, and to the top until they uncover the second building completely. So sometimes the buildings were a little bit taller and a little bit wider, okay? And you can see the two kinds of rocks, normal rocks and the flat stones. Normal rocks were used for the Maya people as the foundation of the building, and they used the flat stones as the part of the decoration. After they finished the building, they used to plaster everything with a stucco, the same material of the book I passed around on the bus, and finally most of the buildings were covered in, painted in red color. I have this hypothetical reconstruction of another archaeological site, Choben, and you can see all the buildings were painted in red. They got the red color from clay, saps of trees, and minerals. I guess you are familiar with mahogany, right? If you put mahogany into the water, it bleeds the natural red. So they mix this sap with the water and clay to paint all the buildings. Some people were painting and smoothing the building, and at the back another people were making carvings. So the technique they use to paint and decorate the building today is called al fresco. Al fresco, okay?
How many inhabitants would have lived in this site?
Okay, according to the scholars, these cities have more or less from 12 up to 20,000 people. and it's considered like a medium size. Tikal in Guatemala is the biggest site of the Mayan area. And in the same period, over there, they live 70,000 people. The population of the Aztec city when the Spaniards arrived was 120,000 people. The same population of the main cities in Europe. Okay? Well, but remember, we're visiting today just the nuclear part of the city. Let me show you a small community in these two pictures. You can see a small community here. Notice that in the middle part of the town, we have also the floor is covered by stucco. So we're visiting this part, the nuclear part. Surrounding this nuclear part, we have the houses of the peasants. And let me show you a bigger city. Okay? You can take a look the difference of this. Oh, I didn't find. Well, this is how the archaeologists found the buildings. We can put this. They look like mounds, and inside they found the cities. Now, talking also of how they organize, you are going to see. Let me show you. Because in some areas, archaeologists say that they practice the cannibalism, but just as a ritual, okay? So sometimes they eat the rest of the body, sometimes they just cut the legs and arms and put it in another different place, okay? I know talking about sacrifices, it sounds very awful, very rude, but remember at that time everything was about religion, so people actually volunteered to be part of a ritual.
When would this have been? Can I just ask you, when would this have been happening? What time?
I mentioned that the sacrifices, human sacrifices, took place around 600. 600
AD.
to the-
AD.
AD.
Yes. That was enormous.
Yes. Yes.
By Chichen Itza, when I went on tour there, they said that it wasn't the Mayans that were so sacrificial, but it was actually when the Aztecs came in that
Exactly.
it became. So the Mayans weren't into the sacrifice as much as when the Aztec warriors came in and took over the Mayan
Exactly. I
civilization.
mentioned on the bus that at the beginning they just offered food and animals. Was until the 600 AD more or less when they made the Toltecs the ancestors of the Aztec. Because remember also I mentioned Aztec flourished after the Maya. So when they made the Toltecs they were influenced. Okay. I prefer that we move to the last building, and when we come back, if you have the opportunity, you can climb this one. Okay, friends, this is good. Let me explain you about Maya people have an important thing that is called ceiba in Spanish. Ceiba. In Maya language, Dzibanché, that means the green bud, and in English, cotton silk tree. Cotton silk tree. Okay? With this tree, they represent the life. It is called the tree of life. For the Maya, the leaves of the tree represent heaven. In heaven, they have 13 levels for the 13 lords. The trunk of the tree represents earth, what we are living. They believe earth is standing on the back of a huge crocodile. And the roots represent the underworld. In the underworld, they have 9 levels for the 9 different gods. And we always say, if we behave good, we go to
Heaven.
If we behave bad, we go to Costa Maya. But today, in ancient times, the Maya people believed that either you behave good or bad, you have to go to the underworld. You need to pass the 9 tests of the lords, and when you are ready, you can go to heaven. The only way that you can escape the underworld is if you die in a human sacrifice, or the woman who dies in labor, delivering a baby, because they already have the pain. So even the ruler and his family, they need to go to the underworld before they go to heaven, if they didn't die because these two reasons: a human sacrifice or delivering a baby. So I brought you here because this is Xibalbá, okay? You can see the temple number 1 in front of you, but the 2 buildings that forms the plaza are called the North and the South Palace. And if you take a look, these buildings have 9 doors. So that's the reason the archaeologists call this area Xibalbá, the underworld. And then you can go to heaven, just climbing the steps, okay? So, do you have a question? Nothing about this? Well, now friends, I will give you the opportunity to climb the building, to get to the stars. There's a very nice view of the canopy of here in this area. And then you're going to have 20 minutes to see the rest of the buildings. Okay, you are here because you want to take pictures, you want to climb. Too much blah blah blah. We can do the rest of the blah 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 on the bus. Okay? So please, 20 minutes, 25. Let's do it in 25 minutes. We are going to be more or less in the other plaza. Okay? Just come in.